morning, my name is Kirsty Dignam and I'm here to look at the energies for, I don't know actually, because in theory I'm late for the week that's just gone and I'm early for next week. So I'm here to look at the energies for now, which is actually what I do when I do read the tarot. We look at the energies that are occurring in this present moment and where they may actually lead. And if we don't take a moment to take stock of where we are now, anything that's in the future is mere potential. When we come back to this exact moment in our life, we can see how far, how close, how many steps there are to put in place in order to get to where we would like to be, once we've seen that it is even a potential reality. So I'm recording this video and I'm recording it on the Friday, which, as I say, would be late for the Monday just gone, but early for the Monday to come. And I really feel a balanced energy with that, to know that in this exact second I am exactly where I need to be, which at the moment is a new environment. So I'm actually down working in my husband's shop at Hampshire Canna in Portsmouth, and I have a treatment room here now for the foreseeable future. And that feels like, I was going to say monumental, it feels like key this week to recognise that it is the foreseeable future that is actually monumental at the moment. It is what is in front of us that really is very valid at this point in time. We can often jump ahead to what we want to bring in. We can often go backwards to where we were, and that's very valuable. However, if we do not take the time to find ourselves in this present moment, it's kind of what I'm getting is the analogy of water off a duck's back. It doesn't sink in, it doesn't resonate. Any healing, any guidance, any insight cannot be applied if we aren't in this present moment with them. So where are we going to go with that? So my eyes have been drawn to a cobweb on the wall in front of me, and obviously a cobweb is the weaving of a spider in order to catch what it is they need to continue to sustain themselves. And it is about the web that we are weaving this week in particular. It is about taking stock of where we are. What is it we are intending to create in order to sustain ourselves for the next 6 months, 6 minutes, 6 hours, sustain full stop. So one thing I did notice this morning is on my daily walk I will say my prayers and my meditation, and they've actually changed. Rather than them being about something specific, they have been more about the bigger picture of what is trying to be achieved here. And for me personally this morning it was very much abundance. It was abundance of life, abundance of health, abundance of my needs being met and those around me. The more we have, the more we can give, the more we can share. An abundance of this truth in my own reality now. This morning's guidance was very much about recognizing how much we had discovered on this deep, intuitive, almost underworld journey that has occurred for so many of us over the last few years in particular, if not decades. From now until the full moon, a real opportunity to look at what we have discovered through all of these steps. So this is where I want to bring myself closer to the screen, naturally wanting to bring myself closer, to take a good hard look at ourselves in close vision, come up close and personal with where we are and what it is we've discovered about ourselves. Now I wanted to pause with that because that feels like a very familiar message, and my own response was, this is kind of what I share every week, so what is different about this? And I'm being drawn to look at a book that I have on my desk. It's a journal that I've just bought. It's called Life Journal, Thoughts and Dreams. But what I was being drawn to here was this shape. Now it reminds me of the rune for the gift, but also destruction, but it also reminds me of a DNA helix. It feels very poignant this week to look at the gift in the shadow that we have been experiencing over the last few years, and how that has affected our own makeup, our own view on things, our own thoughts, our own life, how we've journaled it, and our own dreams, our own approach to our own existence here, because it's that we pass on. So we talk about ancestral healing and ancestral DNA and ancestral lessons. The biggest one is how we view reality. We pass that on to the next generation. So being very mindful of that this week and looking at the essence of life that we are gifting down the line. Okay, so with that in mind, I am going to look at the tarot. The energy feels very new, very familiar, yet very strange. I can feel a lot of tension around my altar major here and around my crown chakra. And what I'm really hearing and feeling into is to feel into the body this week. That is going to be the bridge between the new energy and the old energy, the body. And I'm seeing the Chariot card now. I'm seeing the body as the very vessel that is going to navigate us through. I don't want to say choppy energy. No, what I'm seeing is a tool I use myself, and it's called thought tennis. So we have a negative thought that comes in, and we question that thought with a positive thought, or we just question that thought. So I don't want to say that it's negative or choppy energy that's coming in. Challenging. It's challenging energy that's coming in, and what it feels like is once we actually recognize the energy, the clarity comes. So that's the first time in this room that it's felt like things have come together. Once we recognize the energy that's around us, within us occurring, that's when the clarity actually comes. So it is very much this week about taking a broader perspective, a broader understanding, looking at something from a new angle, or no angle actually, letting that be the new angle, letting the energy tell us what it is by feeling it within our body rather than our old stories. By feeling it within our evolved body, our evolved DNA here, because it's that is the vessel that will move us through these challenging times. So what makes them challenging? Well, that is going to be different for everybody, and it almost feels like this week in particular to really hone in on what makes something challenging for you. And to keep to our own busyness, to not be distracted by why something is challenging for someone else, and then perhaps taking that on as a lesson that isn't actually our lesson, but to find why we find observing someone and their challenges challenging. What is that bringing up for us? Because that is the lesson. Not to take on board what they are going through, but to realise why we feel like we want to in the first place. What is it we are avoiding ourselves? So I see deep diving here. Yeah, we have the Six of Pentacles at the bottom, so no surprise there. It is about that giving and receiving, but I see deep diving here and really digging, really going into the depths of our own emotion. No, not emotion, psyche here. This is soul level emotion, really going into the depths of that in order to find the hidden treasures. When we distract ourselves with whatever it may be, something that takes us away from the work, we know deep down inside, let's get real here, that we are being asked to look at. When we distract ourselves from that, we're also distracting ourselves from the gifts and the treasures that are there. Why would we do that? Really looking at our own, perhaps, fears of our own potential, our own doubt, our own worth in regards to what is waiting for us the other side of the bridge. That's what I hear, the other side of the bridge. So seeing the human body this week as the rainbow bridge, as the Homo luminous, as the evolved DNA. What is the other side of this evolved version of yourself? How does that make you feel? It's going back to secondary gains. We can have gains from not expanding, from not growing, from not going the distance. We can want something, but subconsciously in our psyche, and that's where it feels key to really look in that web of our own psyche this week and see where there may be knots, cords, holes, whatever. I'm seeing the analogy of the dream catcher here, just seeing how well all aspects of our dreams are weaved together. What is in our psyche? What do we gain by not initiating the change it is we're searching for? Because there will be gains there, you know. We may not even get to the bottom of what those gains are, but subconsciously, throughout our life, when we are a certain way, we experience certain things, and our body will try and protect us from going through that again. And it is about reaffirming to the body that we are safe, we are evolved, we have grown, we are ready for that next stage now. Okay, so let's look at the cards for this week. I feel like I want to really sit up straight and to bring the energy from the earth up to the heart and the energy from source down to the heart and allow them to meet. Let this be the bridge between it all. Okay, and I really feel quite union. I feel union within the heart, and then the root and the third eye, and all of the energy centers starting to realign to this higher vibration, this lighter vibration. Okay, so energies for this week. How to best navigate. Okay, so what I'm at first with the navigate analogy, what I felt was coming up to the Syrian portal from the 3rd of July to the 7th of July. I felt those that will never go through the gate, those that will never change, expand, whatever, and that being completely their prerogative. Going into that energy more, I felt Never Neverland, I felt Peter Pan, I felt the eternal youth, the not wanting to grow up. And it is about looking at the responsibilities that come when we do evolve, and perhaps seeing them in a more lightning way, in a more youthful, innocent way, you know, and really looking at what it is we expect is going to happen if we evolve. Yeah, do we expect that, okay, we're going to get healthy and then that means we need to take care of X, Y, and Z all over again, and then we could end up being poorly because we put the needs of others before our own again. Really looking at what it is we expect is going to happen, the shadow aspect of what we expect is going to happen if our dreams did come true. Really looking into that this week. You have the Page of Cups at the bottom of the pack. So, you know, sometimes it can be very comfortable to be a big fish in a little ocean. And this week it's like, think bigger. Realize that you are a small fish in a vast, vast ocean. And when we realize that, when we acknowledge that, we recognize that we have more space to grow, more challenges, more expansive opportunities. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay, so energy this week. How do we best navigate it? Well, with the navigate scenario, as we go into the Syrian gateway this week, keep it light. Yeah, keep it very light. No one's saying that we have to get serious. It's serious, not serious. Okay, and you know, Sirius is the dog star, and it is about loyalty there as well. And we can be loyal and fun. Yeah, we can be loyal to a mission, to a purpose, to an ancestral lineage, to a way of life. But we can bring our own way of doing that to the forefront, and we can keep that light. Four of Pentacles on the bottom of the pack. So we don't have to hold on to everything that's been handed down to us, just the essence of it, just the soul of it, as if it's a flower, a newborn child, a magical gift. A seed, thank you, a seed. We can grow that and nurture it however we choose to do it. So my family are, particularly the female line, very, very giving, to the point where they forget to put their own needs first. And through each generation, it has become more apparent, and the healing has occurred as a result of that. We now, myself and my sisters, are gifted this beautiful seed of bringing hope and healing to other people, and self-worth, not bringing self-worth to other people, but helping people step into that empowerment. Thank you, empowerment to other people. But this seed, we know, needs to be taken care of. We need to be taken care of first in order to be able to do that. Generations before us would have found that very selfish. it is about how you choose to care and nurture for the gift that you've been given, and it is about that gift growing, not staying the same. That's how we heal the ancestral line. Because it's not healing it, it's evolving it. Okay, so I just want to look at that one. Yeah, Six of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands again. So it is really seeing how we give and receive differently this week. In balance for the gift that it is. So I'm hearing the word boundaries, and what I'm seeing is a flower that no one is allowed to touch, that you're only allowed to see from a distance, or Stonehenge that you're not allowed to connect to, and the energy doesn't flow as well. So boundary wise, the most positive thing we can do for ourselves is to ensure that those boundaries are respected by similar gardeners, shall we say, people that are on the same mission. And you will find those that aren't on the same mission, because they won't respect what it is you're trying to achieve in the same way. It's not that they won't respect it, they won't help it grow in the same way. So there's something there, there's some confusion there this week. Okay, and it is bringing it back to the body, bring it full circle, back to the body, go into the 0 point, go into the stillness and really feel into what is being said this week. Okay. Lots of energy trying to come in particular with the Sirius Gateway and the Lion's Gateway. It's like they're both trying to come at the same time. Okay. So what do we have in this bridge between the Cancer season and the Leo season? What I can feel is they're both trying to come in, the energy of both trying to come in at the same time, and it's the loyalty from the Sirius, the dog star, but also the independence of the Lion's Gate and the Leo, bringing both of those aspects into the heart and allowing them to be the balance. We can be loyal and independent just by being loyal to ourselves first and foremost. That's where the loyalty starts. The more loyal we are to our body, the more it will believe it is safe to evolve. The more we care and nurture for ourselves, for the sacred space that it is, the more expansive it will become. It is very much about rebuilding that trust. Okay, so energies this week, I will do the cards. Right, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, overall. So at the bottom of the pack we do have the Knight of Pentacles, and it is about being grounded in the change that is occurring, but it's a slow, steady change. I do feel some frustration there, but I also feel necessary, slow, steady change for the physical body. It is gently, gently, softly, softly catching monkey. That's what I hear. Gently, gently allowing your body to believe that this time is different. This relationship is different. This workplace is different. This scenario is different because we have learned from it. We have taken forward that seed, that ancestral seed, and we are going to look at this differently. Yeah, we are going to nurture this differently. And I love the fact that this horse is black. Black horses are very much to do with the power, the divine feminine, but also the shadow. So all of these things that have risen over the last however long it's been, and it's different for everybody, but all these shadows that have risen have actually empowered us to see where we could do better in regards to taking care of ourselves, relationships, situations, our place here, and the growth that is needed by us as caretakers of it all, basically. So I get a real bad, I shouldn't say bad, but it does feel quite intense actually, a real third eye pain from behind the back of my eye, right one, right into the middle of my third eye here. And when I closed my eyes, what I could see was pomegranates, and very much when my screen just flashed, very much the High Priestess journey here. There may be more that comes to light with that this week in particular, in this reading, but in particular this week. And it is about recognizing, much as we might want to be out of that journey, there may still be some seeds left for us to collect. So what I'm seeing is the analogy of Persephone, and she eats the pomegranate seed. Now, if we eat the pomegranate seed, so to speak, if we become what it is we are trying to create, which most of us now do on a soul level, it is recognizing that only 6 months, only half of our time will be in the light, and half of our time will actually be in the darkness, in the shadows. And it is more about appreciating that time now for what it is, the growth and the cracking open of potential. There's a lot of us that have eaten the seed. There's a lot of us that become what it is we are creating, and it is this week very much being aware of that before we create with what we have, acknowledging that we are going to become that. So, to become a healer for me personally was a journey of healing for myself, and every time that brings more growth to my ability as a healer. So it is recognizing these things. Okay. Overall, for this week's reading, we do have the Queen of Swords, however. So there is a very fine line, and it's the knife's edge. It's Otorongo, it's the way of the West, it's the shadow. And I want to sit upright with this. It's the knife's edge, okay? It is the truth that we choose to carry forward this week in particular. It is our sovereignty that we are ultimately discovering. Regardless of the lessons, the initiations, the give and take, the insights, it is our sovereignty we are discovering. So that is the biggest key to anything. Does this make us feel sovereign? Does this help us to recognize our strengths, our weaknesses with compassion, our ability to learn, our ability to grow, or are we repeating the same thing? So I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day, and about witnessing and observation, and for me everything is labor, everything is delivery. Now, if somebody is going through the same thing but there is change, there is progression, much as it can be uncomfortable, much as it can be frustrating, this is labor, this is stretching, expanding, preparing to birth whatever is coming. If we're going through the same thing and there is nothing else to gain from that, and you'll feel it because the energy will become agitated, frustrated, confined, it will not feel sovereign, it will not feel empowering, it will feel disempowering this week. And if you really, really feel that, my advice professionally as a midwife is to change your position. Change your position, really look at what may be obstructing your labour, and it could very well be you, your thoughts about something, your connection to something, because we do have the Queen of Swords here. So it is really about taking that mental attitude up higher now and bringing in a new perspective with things. So today on the Friday we do have the Eight of Swords, so that just really reiterates what the Queen is saying here about this mental torment, but recognising it is mental torment that we have put ourselves in. Now there is no judgment there. There is no opinion there. We are ready when we are ready at the end of the day to move forward. However, it is about looking at any unnecessary mental anguish that we are causing ourselves and knowing that it's okay to release that now. I almost hear like knowing that we've done our part, knowing that we've done our journey, knowing that only we can do that. Only we can release the ties that bind. Only we can decide there's got to be another way and follow that. Is that rain? Sounds like rain outside. Okay, so on the Saturday we have the Strength card. We have our first major arcana here, and it is the Strength card, and gosh, I'm dropping it out of my hands, literally cannot hold on to it, and that's what it feels like on the Saturday. Have I got the strength to hold on? Maybe not. Maybe that's an indication that it's time to let go. Is there anything else with that? So with the Strength card, I almost feel drawn to talk about what strength is and, explain it and really go over what I already know. That is not strength. to go over what we already know, to use what we've done in the past continuously without growing is not strength, that's comfort. And it's the old analogy, if we do the same thing, we're going to get the same results. It does take strength to try something different, something new, and that feels quite poignant this week. It's one thing to have experience of what has worked, but we are talking about evolving here, so trying something different, something new. On the Sunday we have the Knight of Wands, so we have a lot of people here, a lot of human energy, a lot of human activity, but also a lot of energy. So we have the Knight of Wands, which is very much, it's fiery, it's ready to charge. It's still looking over. I wish you could see the spread here. The Knight is facing the Strength card and the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So it's like a tennis game here. The Knight is very much, I want it now, and it's charging towards the Strength. Oh, I've got the strength to do this. Smack bam up against the Eight of Swords. Mentally, I'm not ready. And the Queen of Swords, okay, so get ready first. And it feels like a backwards and forwards over this weekend. Wanting something, knowing that we feel ready and strong enough to get it, but mentally not quite being there. And very important how we judge that. Do we show compassion? Do we push through? Do we ignore our mental resistance? Or do we hold space and connect to a different way to help us move forward here? Because then by the Monday we have the King of Wands, and the King of Wands is very happy to know that he's gained the experience. So when I say he, I mean actions, I mean our masculine. Know that the experience has been gained through our actions. Know that we don't have to charge head on, but that we can keep it light and fun, taking the essence of the Knight of Wands, that passion. Knowing that we have the strength, not taking forward the endurances, but the courage and the open heart that it has taken this far. Knowing that we can break free of our mental imprisonment when we are ready, all by connecting to that higher sovereign version of ourselves. The Queen of Swords, the King of Wands, connecting to that. The earth coming up to the heart, swords coming down to the heart, and allowing that to bridge it. Keep coming back to that space all the time, this weekend in particular. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. On the Tuesday, by Tuesday we have the Seven of Wands, and there's almost this need to, this weekend's a big one, to defend the rites of passage that has occurred this weekend, as in, I did it, look at me, I did it, this is incredible. All the endurance is coming full circle to really build up and show who we are, to put the meat on the bones by the Tuesday. And I was going to say we don't need to defend that, but just by standing in that, we are showing who we are, not defending who we are, but appreciating who we are in our worth. And that is going to be reflected by the Wednesday, because we have the Two of Cups and we have that more watery energy starting to come in, that flow starting to come in. It's almost like a spiritual war over this weekend with our old self and our future self. But by the Wednesday we have that Two of Cups coming in, knowing, recognizing they're both parts of the one psyche here. They both wanted the higher vision. They can both work together beautifully, the masculine and the feminine union together beautifully. And I love on the Two of Cups how we actually have the lion from the Strength card guiding. So the Strength card has evolved, the strength energy has evolved, it's got wings, it can fly now. So it isn't a grounded, repressed strength. It isn't a strength that has had to be silent for so long. It is a strength that can be seen, that is free to be present in everything. Present in everything. That real united energy. So that's Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On the Thursday we have the King of Cups. When we're in this space, then we can flow. Then we can flow, and it just feels like I'm hearing the song bobbing along from Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. It feels very chilled. And what I sensed there was a, can it be this easy? After that kind of weekend, you know, is it going to be that easy just to flow, just to let go of everything that's happened over the weekend, to just as if it never happened? But on the Friday we have the Lovers. On the Friday we have that choice. Again, it is looking this week in particular at the seed that we choose to take forward from now until the full moon. It almost feels like 2022 is ending, even though we still have 6 months left. It feels, as I've mentioned in previous videos, July is the time to step into the energy of next year. Even though it doesn't come in till next year, we are stepping into the energy of 7. We are stepping into spiritual endurance and what that actually truly means. And that is choice. That is going to be a choice that we all make in our own ways, in relationships, in work, in our purpose, in our health. You know, do we choose to have the endurance at the level of, this is the best I can do, you know, no judgment there, I'm not going to change anything, I'm in a good place? Or do we bring in the choice of, actually I'm ready for the next step? And it's going to be different for everybody. So, there is no point trying to weave a dream if that dream has holes in. This week, I cannot stress it enough, go back through your psyche, through your energy field. Really sit with your body, really sit with your aura, and notice anything that isn't completed. This is the week of completion. Really going through everything, looking through parts of your life, and just tuning into your body, into your energy centers, into whatever may come up, journaling it, spending 5 minutes a day with your body, letting your body speak to you. Is there anything I need to know? Anything that needs to be healed before this gateway? Is there anything that I need to shift, to repair, to mend in order for my dreams to come into fruition? Taking that time this week is going to be really important for the next 6 months, and how easily we transition into that energy that's coming through for the next year, but that is present now, that is building now. Okay, so overall we have 2 major arcanas. We have a beautiful balance there, but what I feel is almost a stabbing in the side with these 2 major arcanas. What is that about? So we have strength and the Lovers, and it is about recognizing the strength that is taken to make the decisions that we need to make, but also recognizing that my initial reaction was to cave in. It was just to cave in and go silent with that pain. Expanding ourselves, looking beyond the choices that we've made before, really, really connecting to potential answers and opportunities that we haven't tried, that we haven't thought about this week. The universe is guiding us in, if we are willing to listen to the signs, the synchronicities, there will be decisions there that we can make. So what I'm seeing here is the feminine on the Lovers card, really looking up to the angelic realms now, really looking up to that higher level of intuition, understanding, compassion, and bringing down those answers. It's the divine feminine, really seeking that within everything, because it's that we have on the strength card here. Yeah, we have that virgin energy, we have that pure guidance that's available to us this week. And that's where I feel almost a worthiness, there's still areas there to be looked at, to be stripped bare in regards to whether or not we feel worthy of that information and that connection. So we then have two sword cards here. So Queen of Swords and Eight of Swords, but we have a beautiful balance of 2. And when we are undecided, think of the 2 of Swords. Let's close our eyes to what is in front of us. Let's see how open our heart is to the answers, and let's have peace with where we are in order to receive the insight of how we move forward this week in particular, and just allowing that higher energy to come in to break any mental torment we may find ourselves in. When it comes to our thoughts this week, we're very much guided by the feminine. intuitive, reflective actions. When it comes to our actions, we're very much guided by the masculine, our more driven ambition and desire. So we have 1, 2, 3 wand cards here. So we have that potential of creativity, of birth, if we can keep it balanced. So we have the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands, and in the middle the Seven of Wands. So it really feels like a backwards and forwards of defending what we want and waiting for it to come. You know, really finding that middle ground there. And how do we do that? We embrace the Seven of Wands. We recognize the endurances that we have been through. We recognize who we have become, and we acknowledge that we know when to act. We know when to act and we know when to wait. This is something we have learned over the last few years, and this week in particular, it feels like a real reflective opportunity to re-establish that mentally. It's kind of like our actions have spoken of our growth, but in our mind we haven't quite caught up with it in our reality. And then what we do is we try and create other aspects of our reality that we want to bring in, so the spider's web, the dream catcher. But unless we acknowledge that we have the drive, the ambition, the power and the spirit to be able to do that, we're going to feel like nothing ever happens. Okay, and that's where we come to our emotions. So we do have 2 cup cards here, and it is about keeping them balanced. It is about the 2 of Cups and the King of Cups, keeping our actions and our reflections balanced, keeping our relationships balanced. My computer's just said low disk space and managed storage. So yes, really looking at what we're carrying forward, really looking at our internal storage here, the stories in our mind, the files that we no longer need, getting rid of what we don't need anymore, but taking our time to flow with that gently in a very, I feel, very Chiron healing type. So my whole computer just turned itself off and rebooted itself, and I literally had to go and empty my recycle bin on my computer because there was too much there. There was too many old videos, too many old insights and old stories, and they all needed to be deleted. So really putting that into practice this week, really getting rid of what is no longer needed. All those old files, all those old memories, all the endurances, but taking forward the essence of that in order to flow. And pentacle wise, we have 1 overall, the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles here, 1 pentacle card. This week very much is looking about what we take forward. What are we going to take forward in July that is going to help us as a seed of our future self potential grow? Really honing in on that. So I'm going to leave it there because that could just be the whole video for this week. It's up to you. You can watch the longer half first or the end part, and it's the same message, which feels very relevant. We can go round and round and round the bushes, or we can get straight to the point this week, and it will be different for us all. Do whatever works for you, knowing that it works for you. That's it. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.